A word for our listeners. Achtung Cthulhu is set in the 1930s and 40s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, a Nerd's Domain gaming podcast. Join us each week as our investigators uncover the corruption of the mythos in World War II. Starring George Chimples, Phil Durham, Rob Walker, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as the keeper.
Hey!
Rich evils and crazed Nazi cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Nerd's Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm Matt, and I'm here with Rob. Oh, hold on.
I'm having a great time because, like normal, Matt's early.
Shirley.
Netter better for the witty.
Isn't that great? That's Shirley's new last name. Better Witty.
George.
And I had the time of my life.
And Phil.
Am I on mute?
You are unmuted.
Are we all unmuted?
You're all unmuted. I double checked.
Did you mute the iPad so in case you hit the button?
I did, actually.
Sure.
I muted the iPad.
I mean, you're really good at that.
Okay, you guys are outside of Innsbruck. The question is who's going in, which is a conversation the four of you need to have. It should be noted that William and Brian are probably known by reputation, at least alone. They're able to be picked out of a crowd. Also, William, although healed recently and probably back at full hit points, is probably not 100%. Statistically, by the stats, yes, you are. But I mean, you just came out of the hospital after a couple months stay. Are you still down some hit points?
Query.
Yes.
So we're looking down at this town. We have an idea that Weiss's Wolf, the elite Nazi ace, is in there or something like that. Do we have any other goals or leads or like, do we have an idea of where we would look, or is it just like go in and figure out where this guy might be?
It's likely that they've taken up residence in the castle. Schloss Ambras. I had this prep like 3 months ago, so it's the castle there, the Schloss.
Okay.
So that would be where you would expect them to headquarter, because it's a defensible. It's a pre-built defensible place, and that's where they've been doing other places. This would be the third castle that you're aware of in your short amount of time. One of which you've been to, because Castle Waldberg you guys actually went to.
Them boys like castles.
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place. So
Castles?
yes,
Gotcha.
and them boys.
And that's what I was asking.
So it's a question of which one of you four, or more than one of you four, is going in. The concern, to help you understand why you're not all going in, is it could be a trap.
Rah.
And George, to help you understand, it was a Spaniard from an area near yours, if not from your hometown, that gave you the information that he was here.
Right.
So,
Let's go.
in these discussions, if we're not having them explicitly,
I have them explicitly. I'm fine with that.
Let's go to the castle.
I don't think I should go. I would think that I'd be recognized, and I'd probably be more of a liability in terms of I could do some long range from a distance reconnaissance, but in terms of strolling into the city or walking up to the castle, I'm not comfortable with that.
Perhaps we could see if they have any sort of like night patrols or things like that. Infiltrate under the cover of darkness. A lot of times you can get in through the sewers. There's all sorts of tunnels and catacombs in these old kinds of places.
That makes sense.
All right, so what are you guys doing?
Are we on the far side of town from the castle?
You're on the western side of town. The castle's on the southern side, kind of in the middle. The town itself it's elongated, so you're on the far western side. It kind of elongates itself along a valley. And by valley, I don't mean like it's deep, deep down. It's it levels off kind of here in the mountains. So it I'd say oval shaped is kind of how it sits.
Our last few assaults of the castles, where have we been going when we get in? Like, where's the activity been when we get in?
The last castle you were at, you went in.
Well, the basement was
went
bad.
to the basement. It was full of stuff, like the things that you were looking for. Came up the stairs, the back stairs, and turned into a barracks, and that's as far as you got in the castle. So you don't know beyond that.
What about the first castle?
That was a
That was
house.
that was the house.
That was the house
isn't any
that
good.
Carlos burned down.
That was the house that Carlos built. Gotcha.
Burned down. Totally
Gotcha.
different.
Yeah, same thing. Let's go.
So do you just want to go into town? Just run it in?
I am not walking into the town.
No, not at all.
I would
Well,
only
you guys do
go-
have a car.
No, I'm done with the car.
I'm not driving into town. I'm not by
No
any
town.
means of conveyance going into the town. I would only go at its periphery. If
We'll storm the
the
castle.
town surrounds the castle, then I would propose that at least some other party members scout it out before I approach.
Do we have like binoculars and stuff?
You would have appropriate gear, yeah.
Could we spend some time a night or two surveilling and seeing what sort of patrols there are, seeing if there's any kind of schedule?
You absolutely could. If you're going to stay outside of town, it may become conspicuous. Just have a car outside of town. So that might be something you want to take some time to hide.
Let's hide it in a bush.
Okay, who's going to do that? Because I'm going to need some rolls.
A big bush.
Small tree.
Cars can't climb
How are you
trees.
going to get in a tree?
Behind the tree. Well, are we using conceal here or what?
You would be using. I'll let you use espionage or fieldcraft.
How far away is the nearest other city?
What size are you looking at? Like,
One
we
that
would
would have a
consider-
mechanic.
on foot, probably day and a half. By car, probably a couple hours. Actually, I'd say more than a couple hours because it's windy roads. So
Do we want to leave this at the nearest town and have it tuned up, as they say with air quotes?
Are you worried you'd be noticed at another town?
Yard.
I don't necessarily care who does it. We could try having me do it if no one else wants to do it, but it's more, if we want to maintain the vehicle for escape purposes, having it somewhere where it's less inconspicuous. My German sucks, so it's probably not good for probably me to drop it off for that purpose. But as opposed to trying to necessarily hide it unless we're confident that we can hide it off of the road in a good way. I just know that I'm not necessarily certain that we could put the car in a place that we could both get it back onto the road easily, but also hide it well. But a day's walk would certainly not aid a quick escape either.
No. What about you two? Do either of you feel like you might be able to hide the car?
No.
I don't feel like I am
What kind of car is
as
it?
well skilled as you
I don't
are
remember.
in this.
it's a Kubelwagen. I don't remember that we named what kind of car it is. If I did earlier and it's something other than a Kubelwagen, it is now a Kubelwagen.
I don't think there's a big concern to hide it then.
Well, other than you don't want it just on the side of the road outside of town.
Yeah, that would be the only reason, but I don't think, like, other than that, like, just out of the way, I don't think it needs to be concealed out of the way. Like, someone could look and be like, oh, there's a car broken down on the side of the road. I don't think it would be that abnormal.
So,
So we think
Rob?
there's cars broken down on the side of the road everywhere.
Well, no, but
It's more likely, especially if you guys like pop a tire, something that you could quickly fix or switch out. Mm-hmm. It'll be like, oh, well, there's a car broken down. They must have walked into town. Like that would be. There's an explanation instead of why is this car parked here and no one's around.
do we have a spare tire?
Yeah,
Okay. So if we have a spare tire, then we can artificially deflate it too.
yeah.
So it looks like it's flat.
Okay.
Rob, has your character been really hot to get here and is now cooled off into getting into town?
Oh, I don't want to go into town.
He has been caught with the idea of coming to the town, but not necessarily
Going into.
into the town.
No. I have no interest in going into the town.
I'm going to work at popping the wheel off.
I don't think we need to go to the town to be conspicuous.
Roll your mechanical repair.
Okay.
Let's see how well you can fake it.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Yeah, you make it look like it's broken down, but it's going to be something that, given a minute or two, you can pop back on and go.
Sounds good.
And then, are you just going to pull it off to the side and think you guys are going to camp somewhat nearby while you do the surveillance?
Sure.
Well, I guess when we're not doing the surveillance, if we're on the west side of town, but the castle's in the south, we'll have to do the surveillance way over there.
Yeah,
Shouldn't we camp closer to where we're going to surveil?
I was just interested in seeing what the surveillance around the town would look like. So just any kind of general overwatch position
Okay.
on the hills.
But you guys are going to camp that evening, or are you going to take a look around first before you decide that?
I'll go into town and take a look around.
Okay. Are you going alone?
Anybody want to come with me?
Do you speak decent German?
I have a 16.
I think
Okay.
I should probably go with him.
So the two of you are going into town.
Ooh, you're leaving me alone with the professor. Hey, this is a family.
Nice callback. While they're going into town, Dr. Thomas and Mr. Blake, what will you be doing?
Keeping as much of an eye on them as I can. On specifically the two that went into town. I'm still going to...
So you're on alert?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still also going to give the professor the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. Dr. Thomas.
What time it is?
Middle of the day.
Okay.
What are you doing?
We need a camp. We should set
Are
up a
you-
camp.
Are you putting a knife in my back?
No, not
Wait,
yet.
where are we going to set up camp?
You are going into town. This
Oh,
is,
yes, I am going
This is
into
what they're
town.
doing while you're going into town.
Because Brian can't talk German.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Ne-
But I can see
neither
Deutsch.
can Carlos, but I think you're going because Carlos can, not because I can.
Oh,
I
well,
can.
I'm going in with Carlos. Sorry.
I thought you guys caught her up.
We caught her up to stuff before tonight. We thought she was good with what happened tonight, but
Yeah, the stuff that was
apparently not.
happening just now that she was present for, like immediately before this.
Cracker Jacks.
No, we don't have those yet.
Right now, Matt's not responding because he's staring at a very
says-
tiny can with
it
a look
says-
of complete horror on his face.
It says no artificial flavors, which means no anal beaver juice, which I'm positive here.
I'd point out that anal beaver juice would be a natural flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it
that
says
would be totally
it says
organic.
no artificial.
No artificial
or
flavors.
artificial colors. It's award-winning and gluten-free. No glutens in this can.
You know, anal beaver juice, you can say what you will, but, you know, that's made in a beautiful science lab called Nature, called Mother Earth.
Well, and I'm pretty sure Rob just ate some in that vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no joke. You eat a lot of gross stuff in life. It's no big
I
deal.
don't care.
Vanilla and raspberry.
No big deal.
So
That's what
The only thing I eat is just chunks of gristle.
beaver juice
I
tastes
love
like.
chunks of gristle.
Chewing them all day.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
It's like gum with meat flavor.
I appreciate you, Phil.
I was good until
Every-
you started making fun of me.
Every once in a while,
All
I
right,
like to
so
behave.
I'm going into town with Carlos.
Yes,
Don't
I know.
count,
We're
don't
trying
go.
to figure out what
For
Dr.
the love
Thomas
of God.
is doing. So, Dr. Thomas, what will you be doing while they go into town and while Brian keeps an eye out on all things?
Assisting Brian, keeping an eye out on all things.
Okay.
I'm sorry you have to die, Brian.
So the
In a fight between Blake and
Blake
Thomas,
wins. Blake wins. He's got a damage
probably.
bonus.
Well, there is dice, but yeah.
No, I mean he's got a damage bonus. So if he connects,
if
I think the biggest thing is that
he need not grapple. We learned that from the last time.
what if he botches and
Is
punches
that
himself
Blake-
in the head?
No,
he's
I only
probably
do that
not going to
myself.
take the first swing. So
That's true.
But what if he takes the last?
yeah, there you go. But if Thomas is able to incapacitate Blake in that first swing,
This is metagaming. I don't think I approve.
Yeah, let's not reveal Dr. Thomas's plans to kill you yet.
What if Thomas hits Blake with 2 hits, one hitting Blake
With the brick.
the other is Blake hitting the ground, It's 2.
This fight would only be
I was more thinking like a
Wait.
tire iron to the knee or something.
No, George put it away.
One iron hitting the knee, the other knee hitting the ground. It's 2 knees. Tony,
okay.
your
So
name is Tony Blake.
We're moving on.
Tony Blake. Is that Iron Man? Who is that?
That's Tony Stark, dude.
Who's Tony
I
Blake?
don't know who Tony Blake
I
is.
don't know.
Do you guys know anybody named Tony Blake?
I know Tony Blair.
Yeah, that's ancient old Prime Minister England.
Ancient prime minister.
I just assume it's like prime ministers are for life.
No,
No.
the current one
What
is.
about Hugh Grant? He was.
Well, don't you get the? It's not. You don't get
No,
the
he
title.
wasn't.
Like
Yeah, he was.
it's
I can show you video.
Obama will forever be.
Isn't Forever
President
Love-a-dovey
Obama.
Something.
I don't know if you're.
While he doesn't
I don't
have-
know if you're
Rom-com.
prime minister forever.
I don't know if this is relevant to Innsbruck.
movie.
That's a fair
Sweetie,
assessment.
what was that?
What was what?
The Hugh Grant.
Love.
That was a
Actually.
not relevant to
Okay.
Innsbruck.
Love actually is all around. No, George. No.
I only like it because it had Bill Nighy in it.
That's the only parts that I'll watch are those parts. Those parts are somewhat amusing. It does have that guy from Walking Dead in it.
Which guy?
The sheriff, the main guy from
Oh,
Walking
he
Dead.
is in that. Holy crap!
That's
Who is
right.
that?
I
He's
don't
that
know
one
what
guy.
any of you guys are talking about because I haven't seen
Walking
Love
Dead?
Actually. I haven't seen Wow King Dead. What?
Walking Dead.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear them. Okay.
Wait.
So
Christopher
no,
Walken?
not
No,
wait.
okay,
No, not
okay,
wait.
No, I got it.
All right. So you guys, Carlos, Evelyn. Is it
Yes.
Evelyn now?
Yes.
What's your other character's name?
Which
The one
one?
from
Evie.
season 1.
Evie.
Evie,
Evie.
which was
Evie.
short for.
McCree.
Evelyn McCree.
Wait, what?
No wonder
They're both Evelyn.
You know how in like every Tony Danza movie, all of his characters are named Tony?
Yeah. And the TV show.
That's right.
The Facts of Life. No.
Who's the
Who's
boss?
the boss? Yeah.
Facts of Life had Trudy, not Tony.
Evelyn
Easy to confuse.
and Carlos, you are heading into town on foot, I assume, correct?
Yes.
All right. You walk into town.
I'm gonna whistle a jaunty tune while I go into town.
So you guys walk into town. Carlos, can I get a spot hidden?
Oh boy, you sure can.
Does
If you
Fieldcraft
roll
cover
well,
that?
you'll take the good.
Does Fieldcraft cover that?
I'd
or-
rather use a spot hidden.
Okay.
Which I will actually unlikely fail, I think.
Evelyn, you can also roll. Sorry, I should have said that.
I do fail,
Okay.
which is crazy.
You're crazy. On mic. Oh, okay. So I'll take that as a no.
No.
All right.
Like, I can't believe you made me repeat that.
She mumbles off of mic.
She mumbles on mic.
No, she mumbled off mic.
She does on mic too.
Oh, good. So you guys walk into town.
Yep.
Take a look around. Are you looking for like a cafe to walk into and kind of eat?
Yes,
or-
I would like to go buy food.
Okay. So you guys go into a cafe, order some food and
Jaeger Schnitzel.
Yes. Is Jaeger Schnitzel actually a thing?
That's a
Wiener.
thing.
It's
Okay.
Wiener Schnitzel.
There's different kinds of schnitzel.
I want Wiener Schnitzel.
I want
There's-
Jaeger Schnitzel.
Well, you have
Lots
Wiener
of
Schnitzel.
delicious schnitzels.
I want some Spätzle.
Is Schnitzel just German
Ooh,
for
noodles
sausage?
Are nice.
That means wiener dog.
No, it
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
It's noodles. Spätzle?
Poodles?
No, we're talking about schnitzel, not Spätzle.
All right, we're moving on. We're past where I want to be now. So you guys order food, you eat, and then what are you doing? Heading back out of town?
I completed my chew roll.
No, we're not doing that.
I
Did
already
you pass
did.
your choo-choo roll?
No, I did not successfully roll train. Let's go wander around and take in the sights of Innsbruck.
Okay. Are you headed towards the castle
Yes.
or straight across the city or
We're going to amble in a meandering fashion near and around the castle.
okay. Can I have you both roll espionage?
I'm going to pretend to look at the architecture. Oh, I carry my sketchbook with me.
Fail.
Okay. Yes.
Fail. I missed it by 10.
Right.
For the record of the listeners, I did want to clarify that schnitzels are not sausages. You pound out a meat and you lightly bread them and fry them.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Thank you, Phil. You've enlightened us.
If I didn't get a schnitzel, Carlos would have ordered a sausage.
Sausage.
So
That was plan B.
So you guys, You meander through town.
we fail utterly at all tasks.
You meander through town. You take note of a few patrols in like open-topped Kubel wagons. So there's guys like in the back.
Are there
keeping an eye
no
out.
walking patrols?
Not that you've seen, but it may just be that you're badly timed.
Castle gates open or close?
The castle gates are half open. One of the doors is open, so it's enough room for one of the
Cars?
for a car to go in one, but not two. It is heavily guarded. There are men up on the walls. There's two men on each side of the gate, and then a machine gun embankment by the gate as well.
I'm going to look around for like sewer stuff.
Okay. Yes, Phil.
I'm going to telepathically ask Carlos if he's looking for insignias on the uniforms.
I would assume that would be something you would do, right?
Yes.
You do see some of the Noctwolf insignias. Some of them don't have them at all. You see 0 SS. There are no SS here. Which would be a little out of sorts. The SS should be in most places.
Do any of them look like noticeably weird, inhuman, strange?
A couple of the car patrols, like what you would assume is the officer from the rank, like a lieutenant, looks a little spindly, like he's not a soldier necessarily, or he hasn't trained as a soldier, but he is he's there for some sort of reason, has been given a rank.
Some kind of like brain bug.
I mean, he's just kind of a nerd. It'd be like Dr. Thomas riding around in one of these with a bunch of soldiers.
Which he was doing like yesterday.
Yeah, kind of. So
I yell, "It's Dr. Thomas," and shoot.
So you guys,
Is it Dr. Thomas?
No, it's not Dr. Thomas. It's a good question.
How many Dr. Thomas clones do we know exist now that are working with the Nazis?
7.
Okay. 3.
I didn't tell about the other 4.
Oh,
My bad.
for the listeners, I'm just riffing. There's no clones that we know of.
There are no clones.
You missed it 3 episodes ago.
There are no Clone Wars here.
If you go back to episode 303, we delve deep into the mechanics of the cloning and also the spiritual, ethical ramifications of souls vis-a-vis clones and clonage operations, and also get a very in-depth coverage of the whole clone saga, as seen in the Spider-Man comics, and the more recent clone conspiracy, also in the pages of Spider-Man.
For our listeners at home, there is not an episode 303 yet. Please don't go look for it. I apologize for George's numbering.
Google it.
That would be hilarious.
So, you spend most of the day. It's getting nighttime by the time that, by the time that you guys finish your circuit.
I want to buy some takeout sausages to take back to the boys in the camp.
Okay.
And also have for myself as well. And Shirley. Evie.
Evie, Evelyn,
You know,
Everina.
the lady.
Evelyn.
Okay. Back at the camp, did you guys set up a camp away from the car, I assume, to keep an eye out?
No.
No, you're at the car?
Well, no, I'm not at the car, but nor did I set up a camp. I'm just keeping an eye.
Okay. So you
Laying in
found,
the dirt like an animal.
you found a good vantage spot of the road and such.
Okay, I'm going to get a weird look from Dr. Thomas. Dr. Thomas can do whatever the heck he wants.
Whatever the science he wants, that's the word you're looking for.
Yes. Whatever
What would Dr. Thomas like to do? Because you were making some faces.
He was keeping an eye out, so I was keeping an eye on him.
Oh.
Liar.
George is suggesting you lend your strength to Blake.
Yes, that's right. Help each other out.
You know, I was good for 1 minute and 20 seconds, and I just... It wasn't even me that was bad this time. I don't know what your problem is.
I've had a lot of
so-
Timing it.
So you're watching Blake, and Blake is okay.
You're not even watching the town. You're just watching me.
I mean, I'm watching everything. I'm
Can I
just
get
keeping an eye out.
a fieldcraft or spot hidden from the two of you?
Got it.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. You notice a couple of patrols come up the road a little bit, but then turn around and go back into town. But they've been gone. Carlos and Evelyn have been gone for several hours, which was kind of the plan. They were going to go and kind of scout out the town. By the time you see them coming back, it's well into dusk and near dark. So it's that early kind of twilight time. They seem
Do I notice anyone
unfollowed.
sparkly?
No. They seem unfollowed by, as far as you can tell, and they come in the general area of where you're at. I don't think you guys gave them exact, an exact idea of where you were going to be, but
I'll call out, Achtung, ich haben 5 Sauerbraten.
Do I need to roll my German to understand that?
no, you understand food.
I'll come out.
Okay. So are you guys setting up camp? What are you doing?
What did you see in the city? Town, whatever you want to call it.
Troops, patrols, Nachtwolf.
There were no SS.
Would I recognize that as well?
Roll your military doctrine.
Yes. I wanted to use
You
that.
actually have military doctrine, I think. It's alphabetical.
I do not. Oh, I got a 12, but that does not.
I'm going to give it to you. That's fine.
12 over 5.
Mark it. Yeah, that does seem odd that there would be no SS. The SS are known for, even if there's not a large group of them, they're everywhere. So, not having SS here is significant.
Seems that it was good that we came here. That's unusual that the SS would not be here. Did you see a way to approach our target?
Not a clear one. There's heavy guards, a gate, which is open, but guarded. I wasn't able to see if there's any kind of access below ground that might be useful.
Yeah, there are sewers for sure, but whether or not they connect to the castle, I mean, it's acceptable. It would be expected that they do, but entry to those is going to be a little hard. You didn't see anywhere.
Kind of shitty.
Do you want to approach tonight, or should we
4.5
rest and
minutes.
approach? Do you want to approach tonight, or rest and approach tomorrow night?
I would like to watch during the night to see if there's anything else we can see.
Should we establish shifts?
Yes.
How far away are you going from the car to set up camp?
How much coverage is there? Is it mostly bare, or is there like trees and stuff?
There's some sparse trees. You could go on the north side of town, and it's a little more wooded there. Or you could look on the south side of town and look for like caves or something of that sort.
What kind of attire are we in?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that took me a second too.
It's like tires. Why are you wearing tires? What are you talking? You would be in typical German clothing.
Okay.
Because the
Lederhosen?
idea was to blend in enough. So whatever will be probably suits and jackets.
Okay.
Evelyn, who isn't here, obviously, probably in a dress of some sort.
Okay. If
Well-
someone came by and we had something weird on or out of place.
No. You would. You look like
Like
typical
Jinkos?
travels.
Yar.
From the north side of town, we said there was more cover.
There's more coverage from vegetation. On the south side of town, it'd be probably more caves.
But my question is, from that north side, and with the castle being on the south side, like what kind of view are we going to have?
You're going to be
view
a
of the-
distance away. You're going to be able to probably see it relatively okay from the northern side. The castle itself sits up on a hill above the rest of the town. It's not huge, but it is elevated a little.
Can I point out that caves are spooky, so we should probably check those out?
Is there any value in splitting the party and going north and south so that we can see what's going on from both sides of the castle?
I think that going south will give us a better vantage point. to see the castle, and maybe if there's cave network, there may be some sort of entrance possible from there, depending on how far they go.
It'd also give you an idea of how much climbing if you wanted to scale the back end of the castle.
I like to go south and get in the cave.
Let's go south and get in the cave.
All right. So you guys go south, set up a good vantage point of the castle. You're decently close. Are you setting watches?
Yes. Evie will take the first watch.
Hell yes.
Because she can't say no.
She
That
can say
sounds
no.
fine to me.
Okay.
That sounds fine to me.
No.
Hello.
Hello. That sounds fine to me, Governor.
That sounds fine to me.
Cheerio.
That sounds fine, right fine to me.
This is rather
Oh, mate. Oh,
This is rather deplorable.
what the hell was that?
It's deplorable, obviously.
It's like Admiral Akbar?
Oh, it's a trap.
It's Lieutenant Akbar, obviously. Early in his career.
Are you trying to say that he was a Nazi?
No, lieutenants are British.
Right.
No, that's the right tenant.
Boo. Right. So Evelyn is on the first
Well,
watch. Who's on the second watch?
I'll take second watch.
And third watch?
Carlos will take third watch. Hit
And-
NBC show starring Dick Wolf, NBC These Falls. You watch it, 8 p.m. every day.
And William will sleep through the entire night because he's not going to take a watch. He is a fancy, dandy lad.
He gets fourth watch
Yeah, I get last watch.
after Blake smothers him with a pillow.
I just like watching you, Olive. You sleep.
Evie is murdered.
What are you doing?
We murder Evie after she says that.
And then she got dead.
Okay, so first watch, Evelyn is watching.
Watching.
Roll dice.
Don't roll dice yet. Don't. First we're going to do, hey, William, roll dreaming.
Say roll dreamy.
Dreaming.
Oh, I didn't quite get it.
What'd you miss by?
Aw.
20.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Did he buy that book?
No, he didn't. I'm just making up rules on the fly because somebody had a wedding and I couldn't buy a book because I have a wedding.
I was po. I wasn't poor. I was po. There was no or in that whole thing. I was po.
So, you
That's a kind of sandwich for our listeners.
lay down.
Oh
is.
boy.
You lay down and go to sleep. You're still a little achy and in pain from your wounds, but you seem to drift off to sleep pretty easily.
Okay.
Blake and Carlos fill up socks full of loose change and beat him soundly.
And
I
you
use
never wake-
exclusively nickels. I
and you
don't know
never-
what you're talking about.
You never wake up again.
Yay. It
You.
was nice to know you guys.
So, what's the coin for a Deutschmark?
I know that pennies would be pfennings.
Oh, so it's a sock full of Pfennings, a Pfennig sock.
They would have Reichsmarks back then, by the way.
That's true.
I think just marks.
So you fall pretty deep into a sleep, and you find yourself in a very familiar place, but you've never been. You know you've never been there, and you haven't even been there like in a dream state before.
Okay.
You just have the idea that it's very familiar to you and
Okay.
comforting. While you're there and kind of adjusting to it, it's a lot of white light, a lot of shapeless void. but
Go into the
bright.
light?
Well, no, it's all around you, so you don't have anywhere to go. You don't feel anything below you, but you know
Right.
you're standing. You know you're standing on something. A woman kind of walks towards you out of the brightness and starts to kind of it comes into focus.
I recognize her.
No, you don't. And when she starts to speak, you hear her voice kind of around you, and then if you move at all to look around, she's in front of you. She's at the front of your gaze, no matter what area you're looking at.
Okay.
But she is not, in fact, moving. She's just in the front of your gaze.
Gotcha.
So it's not like she's moving from side to side.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
just
gotcha. Yeah.
So you, as you're standing there, you can hear her talking about the experiments are almost ready. She's not talking to you, just talking. And you're kind of, it's almost like you're hearing a phone conversation.
Got you.
And she's obviously talking to someone that she regards as intelligent and
Is her voice familiar at all?
No. And when what she's talking about, whoever she's talking to seems to understand. Like they're talking about high level science, but it's not science. It's mythos science, obviously.
Does it? Can I roll occult and see if I recognize it?
You can roll Cthulhu Mythos first, and then we'll roll occult if you fail that.
Where's
It's alphabetical, as Matt likes to remind us.
It is alphabetical. It starts with a C.
Well, I got that. It's not under mythos.
It's under Cthulhu Mythos.
Got it. Okay.
It's the only one without a box.
I got it.
Sweet.
6.
So you hear her speaking of the crystals that they pulled from the Atlantean ruins,
Okay.
and utilizing those to power new weapons. She speaks of the Jaeger gun, and her dagger, her crop. It's not a dagger; it's a crop. But then she starts talking about applying the technology to artillery and to larger weapons. They're talking of technology and not of mysticism.
Okay.
But the things they're talking about and how to apply it are very rooted in an esoteric knowledge.
Gotcha.
You don't hear someone respond to her, but she's clear she's carrying on a conversation. And then she stops and looks at you. I mean, like, at you. You know that she has seen you now. And she kind of takes a step forward. First time she's really moved at all, other than just gestures and such.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls out a riding crop. It's darkish blue in color, where most riding crops would be like a black leather. This is like a navy blue with like almost a sheen, a hue to it.
Okay.
And she says something in German. You can roll your German.
Missed.
And swings it at your general direction. Everything goes dark, and you wake up on the ground wherever you were camping.
Okay.
Kind of cold sweat. You've got a headache. Your body aches. You're a little out of breath, but it's clear that you haven't moved either. You know that body ache where you've been laying dead still for a while? You have that feeling to you as well.
Abruptly or?
Abruptly awaking?
Like,
or,
yeah. Is it like do I stutter, shake, or anything?
You don't, but you know that you've just snapped awake.
Okay.
Yes, Phil.
During whose watch does he awake?
This is during Evelyn's.
Okay.
Evelyn, now you can roll that spot hidden. It's alphabetical. No? Did you say no?
No. No.
No, you didn't say no?
No.
Poor Phil.
So
Failed.
you are keeping a pretty good eye on the surroundings of the town and the roads, so you don't see anybody coming from that direction. There aren't even patrols moving outside of the town. It seems like, from the pattern you're seeing, is the later it gets, the patrols you're seeing are in a smaller area around the castle. So it's like at night they pull back.
Okay.
Whereas you saw patrols all the way through town during the day.
Right.
The people walking that you can see because they have flashlights, and the cars driving around with their headlights, you're seeing in a much tighter, talking 4 or 5 blocks away from the castle.
Right.
No more than that. But you're pretty intent on that, so you don't notice anything else.
Okay.
William, are you going to go back to sleep? Are you going to force yourself back to sleep? Or are you going to just relax, and if it happens, it happens?
Gonna try to force.
Roll dreaming again.
Got it with a not 4.
Okay, go ahead and mark that box. That'll be kind of important later. Well, assuming you don't die.
Assuming that someone uses that sheet later.
You find yourself in a castle. From the little bit of information you could get while you were in the hospital, it is the castle in Innsbruck.
Excellent.
The halls are kind of empty. There are outlines in the dust on the walls where there obviously are would-be tapestries, and in your mind there are tapestries there in the waking world, but you are not there any longer.
Okay.
But it's empty and it's quiet. You don't hear much of anything. No scuttering, no wind, and nothing. Just silence.
Touching the wall, I can Is it like I can feel it's there?
Feel the tapestry or the wall?
Both.
You can definitely feel the wall. Roll dreaming for me again.
No.
When you move to touch the tapestry, you can't force yourself to. You can't make yourself move across that area.
Okay.
But the floor is very solid. You could hear, as you move around, you hear your footsteps. They're not super loud, but they're, given the silence, they are very audible.
Gotcha.
What do you do?
So I've looked. I'm in the hallway with the tapestries.
Mm-hmm. There are some doors and such. If you have a general area you want to go towards, it's not like you have a layout for the castle itself. But
Right. Are there stairs?
as soon as you kind of start to think that, you are now in a different area of the castle, and there are stairs going up. It
Perfect.
looks like a general, like a grand entryway. So there are stairs kind of up, and by castle, this isn't like your medieval like Mott and Bailey. This is a palace more than a castle. It's just all stone.
Okay.
So you do see like a grand stairway entrance.
Mm-hmm.
You can go up. There are more areas where pictures and such are hanging, but there are nothing there. It's just a outline in the dust on the wall.
Okay, yeah. I would be, up.
Okay.
I'd be trying to head up.
As you start to go up the stairs, you notice that there's no carpet on the stairs. So again, there's an outline in the dust where the carpet would be laying in the waking world.
And there's no footprints or anything in it?
No. You're starting to realize as you're seeing this, and from what little bit of dreaming you understand, is that the places that you're seeing these things are things that are moving fairly regularly in the, like they take the tapestries down, and they clean them.
Right.
Stones don't move, so they're permanent. So the things that you're seeing that aren't there, that you know should be there, are things that are moved on a semi-regular basis. So they
some kind of interaction with them.
Yeah, so they're not coalescing here all the way. So
that would be the path that I would probably want to follow, because it's the path that is most commonly tread.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
So you go up the stairs. You find yourself heading down a hallway towards what you're assuming is a bedroom of some sort. The door's cracked open. Do you walk in? Do you peer in? What do you want to do?
I want to peer in first.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden.
Got it.
So you kind of peer in and see there are two people kind of reclining in chairs. You know those chairs that are they're like humped and then a bigger swoosh, kind of like if you were in like a
chaise almost.
Yeah, like in a psych lounge.
Right.
A psychiatrist lounge, like one of those. There are two people kind of laying there. It reminds you of what you would expect from the studying that they did of the dreaming. Like this would be the kind of couches that they would have you lay on when you were at the other castle.
When you first
saw the dream experiments.
Right. Where we were forced and induced into.
Right. With the drug.
Okay. And so I can see them here, so that means
you can see them here, but they seem to be asleep here. Which you're not quite
weird.
You're not quite sure what that means. So that maybe they're awake in the real world and they're normally asleep, and so they're showing asleep here.
Huh.
This is also the first furniture you've seen.
Right.
So like no tables or stands or anything. This is the first bit of furniture you've seen, and this room doesn't have any other
probably
furniture.
Fairly stationary too. Interesting. That was the only room in the.
This is the first room you come to.
First room I've come to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna continue to.
Do you want to walk up and get a better look at the people?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a man and a woman. From their complexion, they're obviously of some sort of like Scandinavian stock. Blonde hair, but not like bright blonde. We're talking like what you've got, kind of a brownish blonde.
Okay. Dirty blonde.
Yeah, the woman's hair is appropriately fashioned for the time.
Okay.
But long. So whatever the appropriate fashion for that would be. So it looks natural and right. The other gentleman has a very the same color hair, but very strict business fashion for the time.
What are they wearing?
you can't tell. There's something there, but you can't make it out. Like,
So they're naked.
no,
It's fuzzy.
there's clothes there, but it's as though they change their clothes on a regular basis, so it doesn't show right here.
So they're naked. Got
They're
it.
not naked, but there's something there. There's a difference because if they were naked here, that would have implications. So this is important to note that they are not in fact naked.
They're fuzzy.
Yes, they're very fuzzy.
That's boring.
As you're kind of standing there, you feel a fire behind you that wasn't there before. You saw the fireplace. Now you feel a fire.
Oh. Huh. So I'm going to turn around.
Okay. There's a fire there. And there is a oldish man, gray, kind of at the temples and also kind of sprinkled through his hair, kind of standing there, and he seems to be talking, but you can't quite make out what he's saying.
Okay.
And you're not sure if it's the distance, because now you seem far away from the fire,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's just because it's just not coming in well.
Right.
What would you like to do?
I can't make out what he's saying.
No.
Is he gesturing or anything?
A little bit, but not a lot.
Nothing that. Okay.
Are Germans big hand movers and gestures during talk?
It depends.
So it's not a cultural thing that they are one way or the other. It's just like Americans are.
I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I'll tell you that there's a certain famous German who loved using hand gestures.
That's true.
A little guy you might have heard about, named Adolf Hitler.
Not Hermann Göring.
Named Adolf Hitler. Hermann Göring was a heavy fellow.
It's true. Okay, that's all I had to it. Thank you. So, yeah, he's not gesturing much, just a little bit here and there.
Okay.
His attire is appropriate for
Right.
business. So,
Seems to be the trend so far.
and he is wearing glasses, like fashionable glasses.
Okay. And I can't make out what he's saying at all.
No, you could try getting closer,
Yeah.
or you could try and force the world to let you hear him.
Just go closer first.
Okay. You get closer, you can hear something, but it's not words. It's just kind of a. It's the Charlie Brown adult talking.
Gotcha. Let me try to force it then.
Okay. Go ahead and roll dreaming.
I missed it by 6.
Okay. It kind of you push at the world, and it kind of pushes back and makes you stumble a little bit, and the man stops talking, like he heard something and starts looking around a little bit.
Interesting. Can I try it again?
Yeah, as you start to go to try that, don't roll. You hear someone in German. You speak German?
Yeah, 30.
You hear someone behind you in German say, "What are you doing here? Who are you?"
Turn around.
The man that was on the couch has gotten up and is standing staring at you. His clothes have stopped being fuzzy. He is wearing like a full dressing gown for bed, like your pants and shirt, like that awkward thing that they wore in the 30s, 40s, whatever.
Tell him I'm sent to make contact and I'm bringing in the package. I'm bringing a package.
To who?
What's her name? We don't. What did we know her name as?
Well,
Well, I don't think that's the name she gave us.
Nyarlathotep.
Nanya.
No.
Nice try.
Nitocris.
Nefertiti?
We got it.
Right.
Nalani.
Right.
Ha ha. It's Nalani.
Nalani.
We do have a wall right there. We can put those back up.
Ooh, we could.
Or I could write them correctly this time.
Should it?
Yeah, so I'm just saying I've got a...
There's no Nalani here. She's not with us.
What do you mean she's not with us?
She's not with the Noctwolf.
No, she's not with the Noctwolf.
And that's who's here.
I know who's
Since
here.
Are you a spy for her?
No.
He seems aggressive and takes a step forward and now is carrying a dagger.
I'm going to try to push at the world, pushing at him.
In an aggressive way or in a defensive way?
Defensive.
Okay, go ahead and roll dreaming.
Oh, I missed it.
A lot?
86. Over 30.
Can he scanners his head?
Yes.
Cool.
He's coming. As you start to do that, again, the world kind of pushes back and you feel a little weak in the knees, and he just starts laughing. And it's that mocking laughter. Hey, you have no idea what you're doing here, do you? And as you kind of like you realize that you may be overmatched, like the other guy is obviously a lot more control. He raises the dagger up in front of you. Let's go the hilt so it's just between his two fingers, and the dagger points directly down, and let's go. And as you watch it hit the ground, you wake up. Like it chunks into the ground, and that's what wakes you up. Roll a d3.
1.
You take 1 point of damage. Now roll a d6.
1. Literally.
You lose 1 sanity. As you realize that whoever he is, he understands the dreaming far better than you do.
Right.
And he doesn't consider himself a master. So, the good news is, though, that'll do us tonight for the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. We will talk to you guys next week, where Rob will get killed in his dreams.
Listen to the sounds of Masks of Nyarlathotep.
We're going to try that again, where I actually have the thing unmuted. Let's do that again. Then something Masks of Nyarlathotep.
And that will do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us on facebook.com/nerdsdomain, on Twitter @nerdsdomain, or over at our site, nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Josh Schott for our music. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And check out our shirts at slashloot.com.